Hello there and welcome back to Charming Raindrops. I'm Vicky, as always. We are creating a reading journal today, and today I have a Dingbats journal, which I'll link down below. I do like the Dingbats journals, as they are lovely colours and they are very nice thick paper, but they are quite expensive, so I can't have them all the time. So first thing I'm going to do is, as with everything, I always like to have a nice quote. So there we go. So books are a uniquely portable magic. I found that on Google and I just absolutely loved it. So I felt that it had to be printed onto a sticker. Make sure I'm definitely on the front page. So I don't want to mess this up when it's a beautiful book. But if anyone's enjoying what they see, or they want to follow the rest of my reading journal or any of my other journals, then feel free to like, subscribe, and comment down below about, have you got any good quotes that I could use for future, because I'm going to have a quote for every month. So if you've got any good quote ideas, I'm always up for a good quote idea. So next I'm just going to put 2024 next to it. I'm going to cut out a book reading challenge. So I'm doing a reading challenge with Book Roast. I'll link them down below. And I'm using my Cricut guillotine to just cut the edges off because it's just slightly too big. I guesstimated how big it would need to be to go in the book, and it kind of misjudged it slightly. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of each edge so that it fits in the book. I am a bit behind on the Book Roast adventure for this year, so I am going to have to try and catch up. But I'm going to cut all sides, a little bit off of each side, and then I can pop that in to my journal. And I've done all these as stickers so that it makes it so much easier just to put them in. Not I'm adverse to glue, but stickers is just so much simpler. And then I'm also going to cut out my book bingo. So I've got book bingo, which I got off of Etsy. And I'm just cutting that down so then that can go on my 2024 page. And then I can start colouring boxes in as I read books. So back to Book Roast's adventure for the year. So what I'm going to do is, as I follow the map, I'm going to write down what books I've read in order to complete the challenge. Because it'd be interesting to see what books I decided to read for the challenge and which books I've just read. I say for fun. They're all going to be for fun. But sometimes you just got to give it a bit more thought. Then on the next page, we're going to look at my to be read pile. My to be read pile used to have like 190 books in it. And then I finally, after 3 years, decided to look at it and go, you know what? I think we might need to make this smaller. I didn't even look at it in lockdown. So if I wasn't going to look at it in lockdown, then I'm not going to look at it now. So what I've done is I've got books that are printed onto stickers in my handy sticker folder. There's a video for that, which I'll link in the cards and down below. So basically, I culled the pile and it went down to something like 50 or 60 books. And then a couple of months later, I did it again because I looked at it and thought, I haven't got enough bookshelf space for this. So then I ended up doing it again. So not all of the books on these stickers will be to be read pile. Some of them will be others that we'll see in a bit. So I've got them all cut out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them all so that I've got a visual representation as to what my to be read pile looks like. Because generally I might have a flick through and look at it and go, oh, actually I might read that one today or not. So it's quite handy to have just that visual representation, and I figured that this notebook is going to last for more than a year, so I don't mind putting the groundwork in now on these lovely pages, and then it will last a couple of years, and then I'll end up doing it again because the information will be updated by then. So then we're going to do our reading goals. So I've given it a heading, and then what I want to do is on the left hand page I want to do what I did in 2023. So we'll be able to see how many, fast forward to another day, I did that bit in McDonald's, and how many books I read in 2023, what genres they were, how many hours and how many pages, because I just love these statistics. And then on the right hand page I want to do what my goals are for next year, or this year really, because it's obviously in 2024 now. So I'm just going to quickly draw around all the bits that I designed previously and worked out all the stats for. And then we'll have a look at the reading goals for 2024. I mean, I know it's June, but you know, I started it a few months ago. It's just taken me time to get it all completed. So now we're into our 2024 page, and I can see how many books I want to read, and my bucket list. So that's things like I want to half my read and get rid of piles. That's the ones that I just stuck in. And then I've got boxes to colour in as I go along. I also want to read 3 more books in the Wheel of Time series because my friend lent them to me over a year ago and I'm very slow. And I also want to read 6 books from my Kindle library because that's another book, set of books that I don't tend to go into very often, generally because I've got library books or there's stuff I need to read for work. So I don't tend to go into my Kindle books very often. So the idea is I want to try and get my Kindle library down a little bit so that I'm reading some of what I've bought, because I would have bought it for a reason. And I'm going to colour in all the post-it notes because I just love colouring in fake post-it notes. And we'll do the date. And then that's my reading goals for this year. So now we're going to make a Dutch door. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut off the top part of the page, and I'm going to use half of it for my Audible to be reads and the other half for my Kindle to be reads. So this will be another selection of book covers, which you'll see me cutting them all out. So some of these will be on Audible and some of these will be on Kindle, because really I want to start reading or listening to these, get the list down. Otherwise I've got all these things that I've got handy that I just need to, look at, see what I want to listen to, what I want to read. Then we are looking at the books that I've read. So I went back through my Goodreads list to put the books that I've read. I'm allowing 5 pages for books that I've read. Now we're in June, I feel like that might be too many, so might be changing out some of my pages, but that'll be a separate video. So I might be doing some slightly different pages just so that, because I do really want one for recommends or for maybe Christmas books. Things that are on my Kindle list or my Audible list, if they're Christmassy books, I'll put them on their own page, because at least then when we get to November, I can think, right, those are the ones that I can read because they're seasonal. So at the moment, I'm just sticking all the book covers onto my red page. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some 5-star stickers as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour those in relation to what I rated the books on Goodreads. So the next thing I'm going to set up is a series tracker. So there's several series that I'm in the middle of reading long term, and it's a good way of keeping track of where I've got to. So I'm going to be using the boxes method again. So I'll have enough boxes for every book in the set, and then I will colour the books in as I read them. So for some of them I will have read most of them. So the Baxters I'm quite far through because I've been reading them for a number of years. So there will be a lot of colouring that needs to go on there. The Wheel of Time I'm not quite as far through, but it's a good reminder that I need to keep reading as well. But when I do come back to them, I'll go, that's how far I got on that one. Okay, so then I decided to go through my bookshelf, and there's a whole load of children's books on there, so like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Babysitter's Club, that I want to read because they're nostalgic. But I need to have them noted down just so that I can see what they are and I can read them as I wish. So I've got them all in a box down by my sofa at the moment so that I can grab them if I want something to read that's quite easy in the middle of books. And then once I've read them, I will then say goodbye to them. But I kind of want to read them one last time for a good bit of nostalgia. And yeah, I will then say goodbye to them and pass them on. Because they're in good condition, I'll pass them on to someone else. So this is my childhood to be read. So some of them are, Babysitter's Club. Some of them are Sabrina the Teenage Witch. For some of them, I'm not doing covers. I'm only doing covers for the special ones, because there are so many books in some of the series that if I did the cover of all of them, we'd be using up so many pages in my journal. And hopefully by the end of the year I will have read quite a few of these, because they're only little. But I am going to put the numbers of the books in. I don't quite have all of them, so I'm just putting the numbers in of the books that I've got, because I'm not going to go hunting to try and find the ones that I haven't got. I think most of them run in an order. There's only a few missing in the middle. But yeah, and then there's different sets. Ironically, there's about 3 different sets of Babysitter Club books on my shelf that I had no idea about. So that is interesting. So I'm going to list all of those, and then another thing I can colour in, because I like colouring as we go, is another thing I can colour in as we go. So I'm going to do the same with the Sabrina the Teenage Witch books, because I've got all of those numbers written down as well. And then, yeah, we can just, as I say, I can read them, I can colour in when I've read them. I'm possibly not going to read them in order. I think I'm just going to pick up a book in relation to what looks nice when I pick it up, or the first one I put my hand on. I kind of know how the story ends, so it's almost like it's just a little bit of reminiscing. And as with everything, I need to provide a bit of decoration. And what with it being the 90s, I decided to put some quite colourful 90s pictures in. I've left some space just in case I find some more. Okay, so now we're on monthly pages. So we're going to set up January. And then it's going to look at how many books I've read, and then how much I've listened to. And I'm doing a little graph for January. I may not do a graph for all of them, because I might want them all to be a little bit different. So I don't want all my monthly pages to all look exactly the same. I kind of want them to have their own identity. So we can see how many hours I've listened to and how many pages I've read. I didn't get through very much in January because I was very busy doing other things. And then I'm going to find my big pile of bigger books, and then I can stick them all in. And then there's some stars. So what I'll do is I'll put the star rating underneath. And then I'll colour the star rating in relation to how many stars I gave the book on Goodreads. I'll also link my Goodreads below, so if you want to follow me on Goodreads, then you can. And then I've also got a January for the left-hand side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've decided I want to go a bit lighthouse and nautical for this one. So I'm going to draw a lighthouse and some seagulls and some other sea-related things. Just because I've got really into drawing in the last little while, so I can literally do some drawings, and it's better than just constantly printing things out, because otherwise you're constantly printing things out and none of it's my own, and I kind of really want to get into my own things and make sure about all the pencil lines, but just doing some, even if it's very simple drawing, just doing some drawing. I enjoy it, it's very mindful. And then I can colour it in with my super tips, which are also linked below. If you want to get anything that I'm using in my video, then feel free to have a look at the link below. That'll take you through to my website, which will list everything that I use for every journal and everything I use in every monthly planning session. So you can always see. So that's my lighthouse and done. So then we move on to February. I say, if anyone's got any good book recommendations, feel free to pop them in the comments below, because I'm always up for a good book recommendation, and soon I'm going to have some recommend pages in there, so that'll be fun. I'm clearly not doing my months in order, because now we're into April. I didn't do very well in April at all. I don't know what happened in April. I have found recently that I've found it very hard to read on buses, so that probably doesn't help, because before I would have read on a bus. I'm finding now it just makes me feel a bit queasy, so I'm not doing that as much as I once was. As I bring the star stickers back out, and then I am colouring the stars in as I'm reading them, and both of those were amazing books. I would almost go to say they were life-changing. I may have only read 2 books in April, but those were probably 2 of the best books of the year so far. And another quote page. See, if I can find quotes, I will do it. So let's have a look at the final flip through. you can see, in some places it's not quite finished, so I'll do a proper flip through once I've got it all nicely up to date. If you like what you see and want to continue following our adventures and our videos, then please follow us on social media or see our website. Please like, subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.